It's time to get on up with Jam and Renee. And here's your hosts, James Arthur M. and Renee Culver.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Backchannel. You know, this is the only place where you can watch, chat live with your host that you are partaking in at this very moment. And at this very moment, you're tuning in for Get On Up with Jam and Fidgety Renee. I am your breakfast jam for the morning, James Arthur M.
Good morning. And I am Renee Culvert, the stable willow tree that we all depend on, Jam, and the fidgety Renee. I think that's what the people want in the morning.
So
Someone they can
popular
rely
this
on the other one they're a little worried about. Great.
I think it was because this weekend I had spent time with my nephew who's 4
sure.
and waiting in I don't think roller coaster lines were built for 4-year-olds. They can't do it.
They most
Can't
certainly were
do
not.
it.
And
They
now
can't
are
do
you
it.
noticing his tendencies are very similar to mine?
I
And
am.
like
I picked it up. I was like, oh,
grabbing
nice,
things.
like a little 4-year-old. You're like,
Can't
what's this
sit in
over
the
here?
chair.
Fidgety, fidgety. Are you eating paper? Are you
Not
doing that
yet.
quite yet? Okay.
But the show is young. So it might be on its way.
My nephew has an
Sweet friend.
affinity for paper. I handed him the map of. So this weekend I went to Six Flags for my nephew's 4-year-old birthday, and I handed him the map. I was like, "Oh, take a look," because he was like,
Yeah.
all up. He doesn't know personal space. He's been in quarantine. Also, he's 4, been in quarantine. Doesn't know personal space. So incredibly friendly. Loves to meet other people. Is like, what's your name? What's the map over here? And just all up in. And I was like, oh, we have a map. The guy's like, oh, do you guys need a map? I'm like, no, we have one. Handed it to him. Looked away for 4 seconds and turned around, and he's just eating the map. Eating the map. I'm like, oh no, we don't eat paper. And then 7 minutes later, we're still in line. I'm holding the map, and he comes in, takes a shark bite, a second bite. I'm like, what is
Jam?
happening?
That is hysterical. That is such a funny story. Just the notion that in logical sense, yes, you should be able to give a human a piece of paper and count on that not immediately being consumed. But when it's hilarious.
Wasn't prepared.
I think now,
wasn't ready.
Is this the point with which you want to reveal to us that your nephew is a puppy?
I know. I was like, literally, it's like, wow, the dog really did. My nephew ate my homework. If I was back in school,
ate your homework. The shark bite part kills me. That is so. So you're looking at it, and then just a chunk is missing from the bottom.
And then this is why I didn't know that there were still even whales. God bless them. There shouldn't be whales at Six Flags. Part of the map was missing, so I didn't know what some of the stadium, the keys were. So I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm not walking over there.
This is the type of story that's going to make me giggle through the rest of the day with just a sprinkling of hurt. I'm hurt that you waited this long to tell me this story.
There was no time yesterday. We had so many things to do.
I know.
So many things to do. Okay. Speaking of things to do, can we welcome the Get On Uppers? Yes, Renee, would you please do the royal honors? Tell me who we got. Who we got here?
Nothing more. Well, we got Stacy already in the chat letting us know that she will be here for the full 2 hours, and we are so happy to have you, Stacy. We've also got Kristen, Marty, London, Karamus, Angelo, Brisk Gopher. I think we are divided, Jam, in our adjectives and animals. I love it. I absolutely love it. Trevor, Abel, Owl, Stacy, as we mentioned, and Gian is here. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. This is a good group. This is a perfect team.
Perfect team. It's a perfect team. Sorry. I've been watching some human resources, and my Rudolph is hilarious on it.
I'm so excited to see it but I also it's incredible, right? There's no way it's not incredible.
It's great. It's great. But before we get into that, get on uppers. Curious. First question of the day: do you watch? Nice. Oh, look at that! I'm already getting compliments from our lovely
Mhm.
Stacy saying, "Nice shirt, Jam." If you want to be as
Yes.
cool as Stacy and give compliments away, you can just into your Echo or Excella device. Excella. If you say it backwards, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You say, Renee, also nice shirt. I think she is deserving of one as well. Is that a hoodie, Renee? Did we have
Of
a
course
hoodie?
it's a hoodie. We're pretty matched today. We're pretty
Yeah,
matched every day.
we were matched yesterday. There was
I
no
know.
we were such a packed show.
I
I had
know.
no time to
There was
mention
no
it.
time to discuss, but it did again with the hoodies matching, and there's no coordination of that.
Well,
Like,
you know what it is because I am halfway like I'm kind of on vacation this week aside from the
well,
real job. I'm wearing full on pajama pants today.
it's
These are full on
let's see what we
pajama
yes.
pants and
Yes.
slippers.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it could because we both immediately hop into work.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I was gonna say I
So
think it
usually
could
I'm
be
wearing
argued.
clothes, like actual, like real,
Right.
like pants. I want to feel like,
Sure.
boots are made for walking. I got
Well,
this.
I think it could be argued, Renee, you need to dial it up for work because we're wearing the same thing, but I am working immediately after this. So,
Like I'm
hmm,
just gonna go like
hmm,
lay on the couch, right back to the couch after this, and
a gift.
maybe do some
I
cleaning.
think it is so commendable and get on uppers. I'm sure you're right there with me that even on vacation, you showed up for these sweet, sweet sweeties, which and I just love it. I think it's very
We're
kind. I think
doing
it's
it. We're
incredibly
here.
dedicated and committed. Do you regret it a little bit though? A little bit now that you've done it? Or are you just like, that was a mistake? I definitely should have taken off.
Well, look at what Stacy's saying. It's okay to wear
Yeah,
pajamas. I wear pajamas every day. So if
yeah.
Stacy's doing it, then
Stacey
we can
knows.
do it. I will not be
Stacey
doing this
knows.
on my vacation in June. I will be off. But let's
Yeah.
take a look and see what's going on for the show today.
Mhm.
We Treat Yourself Tuesday. We got a little Treat Yourself
Yes.
Tuesday, which I think is actually going to segue into a conversation about something that I already did my Treat Yourself yesterday. But I'm gonna be
Uh-oh.
treating myself today as well. But I've got a
Uh,
recommendation for you all. If you would like to treat yourself.
the very
I've
best
got something.
news.
And I
Incredible.
think, Renee, you're
Okay.
gonna love my recommendation, and I think we
Oh, I
might even
can't
have a
wait.
giant conversation about it.
Oh, I can't
So we
wait.
wanna know, get on uppers, get ready to chime on in. We wanna know what you're gonna treat yourself to. It's Tuesday. It can be a little rough. It can feel like Monday the sequel. It can be like reheated Monday, but you're gonna turn that beat around because the song says to do it. You're gonna figure out what you're gonna treat yourself to. We'll have our celebrity birthday quiz. We're got a lot of birthdays. People are these
Yeah.
cuspies. They're trying to get it in. They're like, I don't want to be an Aries. I want to be
No.
a
No.
Pisces.
No. Because it's
I
already over though,
diverged.
right? It's today it's over?
Well,
Tomorrow it's over.
it's
When is today?
coming up. It's the cusp is always what, the 23rd, 24th, 25th
Okay.
around. This is
I'm
cusp
gonna
time.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna get the details of the thing now. Hold on. March
And then we've
Aries.
got we're doing a deep dive, such a celebrity birthday quiz. And Stacey's already like, bring on
Love.
that celebrity birthday quiz. We
Love.
are gonna jump into a deep dive. I know you're like, it's Tuesday, but Tuesday, gotta tell you all about Josephine Baker. We had to
Yes.
clear the decks.
Mhm.
She's so phenomenal. Renee, are you familiar with Miss
I am.
Josephine
Yes, I
Baker?
do know Josephine
Okay.
Baker.
Well,
Phenomenal.
please chime in because Renee, I gotta tell you,
Yes.
I'm late to the party. I've heard about her, but I didn't know all the things about her. So Renee, please feel free to just
Well,
jump on in and be
because
like,
it's a like,
actually, it was the
I
banana
know,
dance.
I know who I've heard of. So this will be a lot a lot of good education for moi as well.
Okay. Well,
But yeah,
don't be afraid to be like, well,
but you know
saw a
what?
I saw a cartoon in the Sunday Funnies.
Here's what and they said.
Oh my gosh. Before
Yeah.
I please want to put in the Sunday Funnies, I want to tell you what's going on for the rest
Please.
of the show. And I want to circle
Okay.
back to the Sunday Funnies.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And
Fair.
then in the second half, we've got so today I saw news, or I have a choose your own adventure. It might just be today I learned this thing that might be interesting. I'm gonna let you all choose if you want
I'll
more news
take
from
it.
me or
We are
like
coming out of this show educated. So go ahead. And in fact, I want to take a moment. Like, think of how dumb you are now,
take a
and
moment.
how
Take a moment,
smart
please.
you'll be in 2 hours.
Oh my
It's
god.
fun for me.
Okay, I might go down this pathway. We'll see. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And then we will be playing it's in honor of National Puppet Day, which was yesterday. We're doing National
Mm.
Puppet Week because we can't get enough of the puppets.
No,
Uh
come on.
we're doing top Muppets.
Yeah.
Top Muppets. What are your top Muppets? Is how we're gonna close out the day. And then
Now,
we're gonna actually close it out with Giving Tuesday. So what
yeah.
organizations are you like, hey, go give some money over to this place? They need your help.
I love that. No, I am curious for the top. Are we ranking them? Are we doing? A
Oh,
full
yeah.
blown
There's
rank it?
no
Oh
other
God.
way to rank anything. We'll be ranking it.
Okay.
Renee's like, tell me we're ranking it. We want to know who's your Beyonce puppet, who's your Kelly
Yeah.
Rowland puppet,
Yeah.
and who's your Michelle.
You
Rank
gotta.
it
We gotta
style.
know. We have to know. I cannot wait. This is a show custom made for me. I love every last bit of this. This is great.
Especially if we get into my conversation by today, I learned is actually maybe about dogs and wolves. Maybe. But I don't know. We might need to learn about the news. I mean, there's some things going
No,
on.
we
So
need
we'll
to learn
see.
about because it is International Puppy Day tomorrow. So I think you were jumping in
Oh.
early on
Then
celebrating
maybe
International
I
Puppy Day
might need to
Eve.
save it. I might need to save
I
it.
don't
We'll
think you
see.
do.
Okay,
Well,
let's
okay.
just feel out the show as we
We'll
go.
feel it out.
Let's feel
We'll
it out.
feel it out. Okay.
Speaking of, it
Yes.
is treat treat yourself Tuesday. Treat yourself Tuesday. Like how that song
It was great.
it
It was great.
evolved and became a
It rendered
song.
me silent, but it came out in my body.
I mean,
I should
you
have chimed
were
in,
no,
but
no,
I
no, no,
was
no. You were dancing.
participatory.
If you missed it, if you didn't see her, she was dancing. Look at that. The reviews are in.
Yes.
Stacy says, I like that song, Jan. I
Yeah.
like it.
I love it. I
Let
love
her
that.
know. Let her
It's
know.
perfect. It's
Oh, right.
perfect.
So it is Treat Yourself Tuesday. So get on uppers. We want to know, what are you going to treat yourself to today? It's Tuesday. You're like, oh, no. Is
Yeah.
this Monday all over again? No, it is Tuesday. But the thing that you're going to do here on Get On Up, we like to make sure that we're going to treat ourselves to something on this Tuesday. So get on uppers. We want to know. Shout it out into the comments. Say, I'm going to treat myself to bananas and pajamas, or
I
I'm going
love
to treat
it.
myself to more of James's musical singings. I'm just going to treat myself to
Musical stylings.
reruns of Get On Up. That's what you could do. Or treat
Oh, that
yourself
made
to the Sunday funnies. Now, this
oh,
is what I
yes.
remember. I
What
almost
were you gonna
forgot.
say about that?
Renee,
Yes.
you
Yes.
loved your Sunday funnies, I bet. You were like,
Loved
give
my
me
Sunday
you.
funnies. Are you kidding? I loved my Sunday funnies. Lived and died by my Sunday funnies.
I had a feeling.
I
I had a
pity
feeling.
the
You were like, give me
family
that
member
flavor.
who was looking at the Sunday funnies before I did. Because there was gonna be a conversation about such a thing. Loved the Sunday funnies.
Oh man, we'll need to circle back on this. I want to do a deep dive onto this. But Renee, is there a comic strip in Get On Uppers? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Did you read the Sunday Funnies? And was there one? What was the one that you really looked forward to? What was the
Look
Sunday
forward to it.
Funny that like
This
you
is
were?
incredibly embarrassing. There was I
Was it
loved
Kathy?
Dilbert. No, I didn't love Dilbert. I loved oh God, now I can't even remember what it was called, but I had shirts of it. So the shirt was the School for the Gifted and Talented, and the door said push and pull, and the kid is
Uh-huh.
pushing on the pull door. But it's School for the Gifted and Talented. So whatever
Yeah,
the Far Side, maybe? Does that seem right?
maybe
Does
it
that seem what
sounds
that
very
comic was called?
farsighty. Yeah.
Um, Sarah, if it makes sense to you to look that up, or I could do it too. And then I love Calvin and Hobbes, which is generic.
Of
but
course.
I
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you? What did you watch? What did you like?
Get me the Peanuts and Garfield and them
Yeah.
out. They're the top.
Mhm.
You know, it's so interesting the way they really build the Sunday Funnies is the top most popular cartoon strips are at the top, almost as if like you're not going to make it to the end of the programming. You know, they
Right.
have it like the top, like you've got Peanuts
True.
and
Yeah.
Garfield at the top.
And top
And then
billing.
it just
Yeah.
kind of gets you got Marmaduke at the bottom. It was Family
Yeah.
Circus in the bottom corner. They got one little
Sure.
slot, a little
Yeah.
circle. Family Circus, it's hit or miss because they've
Yeah.
got one little image to get their point across. It was like one
And that's
or
all you
two,
get.
one or two.
And that's all you
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
Yeah, I also loved Kathy and Luann. Do you remember Luann?
Kathy
It's a
was
bunch of
great.
white
Don't
women
remember
struggling.
Luann. Kathy
Yeah.
was great. She was always so frazzled. Loved me some
Yeah.
Kathy. Surprised Kathy didn't get like her actual. I'm sorry, what was that, Renee?
Ack! Listen, Miss
I've
Piggy and Louie
never
and I think Kathy would all get along pretty well. Yes.
I've never heard the voice of Kathy out loud because she never got an actual cartoon. Right now, I'm on a mission to get you booked as the voice of Kathy. We never
Oh,
crossed over into animation, like full
the
on blown animation. For whatever reason, there was never a Kathy
greatest gift.
animation.
The greatest gift. There's a podcast called the Ack Cast, where they do a deep dive into all things Kathy, how it came to be. They really talk to the cartoonist themselves. It's great. You'll learn a ton.
Well,
I've
okay. Well,
heard.
you heard it there. Treat yourself to that. Okay.
Yes.
We got Stacey saying Stacey loves Looney Tune cartoons.
Yeah.
They are still around today. They really are. I mean,
Right.
classics. When they
Right.
broke, don't fix it. Except for the racist episodes. Let's get rid of those.
No, I don't like those. Let's get those.
No,
Let's get
man,
those out of
no,
here.
no, no, no.
And then Stacey, this is a long time ago, but I said a word that hurt your feelings, and I'm sorry. I think the word might have been dumb. I meant it as a joke, and I was talking about myself, but I'm still sorry. And you're right. You should never call someone
Yeah.
dumb. I get that.
We need that the more you know, like
Yeah.
little
It'll
rainbow
hurt
thing.
someone's feelings. Yeah.
Because we will constantly be learning as we go here on the show. And
Right.
what, Renee, I want to give you some, I want to pat you on the
Yeah.
back a little bit here.
Uh-oh.
You stepped on someone's show and you were like, oops, sorry, the oops,
Sorry.
ouch thing. It
I'm sorry.
happens. You know, and too, especially
Sorry.
being when you're on live air, you're going to say
Mhm.
things. But
You're
what's
gonna step
great
on toes.
about this environment is we can get that feedback. I'm like, hey, you said something.
Let us
Let's
know.
unpack
Yeah.
that. Let's unpack
Let's
it.
chime on into the chat. Say, Renee, I also use the word dumb, and I will also work on it. Some people deserve it. Including but not limited to the people who might be asking a Supreme Court justice a lot of questions today.
Ooh, we might see this way. We might need to get into the news. Wolves, you might have to wait for tomorrow. Okay. So, but Renee, what are you going to treat yourself to? The live questioning of
Yes.
Ketanji Brown? Are you going to put yourself through that?
It's gonna break us. It's gonna absolutely destroy us. You're gonna be so angry. I'm gonna get so angry so fast. So no. So of course I am going to as basic could be. I am going to do the thing that I always do, where it's like, going forward, I'm doing this. I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm getting out of town every weekend. Once. It happened once. So this will be on par with that. My new thing is like, I'm treating myself to the theater once a month. Bryan Cranston is in a play at the Giffen Playhouse. So I bought a very expensive ticket to go see the theater on Thursday. I did that Monday. So I am holding on to that tonight.
Look at that. I think you're just gonna stare at the ticket and like imagine because you're
right.
like, what's he doing? Is he like, telling jokes, tap dancing? It's just a one-man show.
It's a new play that I think you're actually really, really, really gonna love. Called Power of Sale, and it is about a Harvard professor who just the free speech gets unraveled real fast based in politics. What's allowed to be said, what's not allowed to be said, what you actually believe. Based off the reviews, it seems real good. And I bet it's on its way to Broadway. We'll see.
Ooh.
I know.
You think he'll do any Zordon?
Maybe. He may.
He was the voice of Zordon on Power Rangers.
We'll
I'm that guy who just goes like, do Breaking Bad. Like he's here just to do impressions of past characters.
We've done a lot of really great things since then. There was a pretty good show on Apple TV that I think a lot of people liked.
Malcolm was too scared to watch. Is Malcolm still in the middle? Man, terrible.
But do you want to hear what's happening? I don't know if this is a treat or not. We'll see. I'm going back to the office today. And the office is a co-working space. But most of my company is in New York, and there's a handful of us here. So there's a co-working space that I'm going to work today.
Wow.
I think it'll be good.
Renee, you might need to put some actual pants on then.
I know. I do have. Hold on. Yeah, I'll show you.
Are you wearing? Are we have pants? Do we have pants? We have pants. She's got jeans. She's got jeans. No flannel. Warminess on her.
No flannel pants.
Well,
I did the other day.
Renee. Enjoy. You couldn't drag me back to an office. Somebody asked, "Oh, are you claustrophobic?" I'm like, "No, I just don't like what." No, I accidentally fell into having a 9 to 5, and the beauty of it is not having to
Right.
physically go into an office. And I can't get work done. I can't get work done around other
Right.
people. I was that kid who always had homework. Like they're like,
Right.
oh, you can do your homework now. I'm like, and
Absolutely
I
cannot.
can talk
I
to
need to
Johanna right now and we can
keep
talk about some stuff.
chatting. You know, I thought the exact same thing. The exact same thing. I had to go work at Starbucks last week because they were working on my sink. This is all very boring,
Right
but
now.
I also get distracted. I'm also a little chatty catty, but I think I get distracted is based on my friends are around. But I didn't know anybody at Starbucks, and I got so much
You
done.
weren't just
So much
turning to
done.
the neighbor of like, oh my god, are you reading the
And
Sunday
then
funnies?
how
Are
about
those the
have
Sunday
you?
funnies?
What's
I
that?
was like, Kathy,
How about
hey,
cat?
hey.
Ah!
I
Yeah, I just went around squawking at fellow Starbucksians, and nobody participated. So I was like, "Well, this isn't a Kathy crowd. I guess I'm out." I was real upset to find that I think I maybe look at various things on my screen that are like Amazon, theater tickets, blah, 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 shopping, when I'm working. And I was just like, oh, great, I sent that email. Well, now I'll go do this. But when you think that people can see your screen, the shame got so much done. So much done.
So
So
you need someone with the shame bell ready to go. Like
yeah,
really
just
would actually be helpful if Shame
done.
Bell Lady
Yeah,
was behind you working the
right.
entire time.
Right.
Yeah,
But I
that
have
could be good.
2 motivations for this. 1, I don't know anybody, so I'll hopefully get work done. And 2, is my husband there? Is that where he is? Is my husband hanging out at the co-working space? Oh,
Oh, I should have known all roads lead back to potential dates.
yeah.
Remember what got Renee playing softball? Oh boy. What got Renee on a roller coaster? Oh
Oh,
boy.
boy. Yep, exactly. What got Renee to not get fired? Oh, boy.
Oh, the adventures continue. All right. Well, I can't wait
I
for
know.
your Sunday funny comic strip.
Thank you. No, what are
Okay.
you
Well, I'm gonna
creating
treat
this up to?
myself
Yes.
to so today I will be going to go get a 80-minute massage.
Yes.
50
Heaven.
minutes, it's
Good.
not enough. It's not enough.
Mm-mm.
And then hang out at the spa. Hopefully, last time I booked this, they're like, yeah, the spa's actually closed. You can get the massage, but you gotta get out because
Yeah.
Omicron was like, we're looking in the spa area. You can't sit in these baths. No
Don't love
bubble
that.
bath for me. Um,
I
but I
love
have
this.
yes, so I'm
So
doing that
deserved.
every time I take a week off. Every 3 months, I go and I get a massage.
Yes.
And
So
super
deserved.
relaxed like the first 12 hours, and then I'm back to being a stress case. Easy to be the
Puppy.
Buddha on the mountain, but then you go back into the real world and people be people. But the thing that I had already, thank you, Stacy, chiming in saying that I definitely deserve it as well.
Thank
Jam.
you. You
Thank you.
absolutely
Recommend.
do.
Recommend. Do you have any people who love spas, like massages? When's the last time you've been? Ding, get it.
Right. Oh, so sorry. Do you want to hear? Can I tell you what live is happening? My
Yeah.
other job just had a complete tell-all piece, like a take down piece just got released. And so it's all my coworkers being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's very exciting because karma comes
Oh.
around. Karma comes around. So we didn't know when the
Oh,
article was coming out, but it came out today and it's not good.
dang. Were
Yeah, I
you
know.
guys telling all on someone else or someone else was
No,
telling all on
no,
you?
absolutely not. No, no, no. I think someone is talking about the sort of corrupt corporate culture and the bad things that happened over there. So
Oh,
we
at your
heard
other
at my
company.
other job.
I know what
Yeah.
you're saying, which we're not going to say. We'll call it Mapletown. Just the first thing came to mind.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
but here's the thing that I want to recommend to y'all. I haven't heard y'all saying what you're gonna treat yourself to, and I feel like you're waiting for a recommendation. I have a recommendation for you. If
Yes.
you have Disney Plus, you should treat yourself to Seeing Red on Disney Plus, the new Pixar
Oh, you
animated
watched
movie.
it.
I treated myself to that right after the show. I curled up in a little blanket, turned the heat on, and I watched Turning
What did
Red.
you
It
think?
is so cute. It's so cute. So Turning Red, it takes place in Toronto, and
Right.
which it takes place in Toronto in like the 2000s, and it follows Mei, who is, she comes from like a traditional, like I guess like Asian Canadian sort of family, and she essentially, like, she's like this, like, she when her family has this tradition where she doesn't realize this, but like when their emotions get too hyperactive, they turn into like the red panda. And so it's sort of like this sort of like, I don't know, allegory of becoming like, being a teenager, but done through, I just love it when I see diversity on the screen of, also diving
Right.
into, you can feel like the authenticity in this, where similar to, I don't know, did you watch Soul, like Pixar's Soul?
Of course.
And it was
Yeah.
about like, jazz music and things like that. Um, and like Soul really felt like it was really connected to like, jazz music and like the African American community. And this one really feels connected to like the authenticity of like what's it like being like a young Asian teenager trying to, you enjoy like, pop culture. Like she loves boy bands. Four Town is like her favorite band, but she also
Yep.
wants to like, there's huge, especially in the Asian culture of like honoring your parents and like a lot of like traditions and things like that, and her trying to find that balance of what works like right for her. I thought also it really felt like it was Pixar, but it felt like an anime. I watch a lot
Right.
of anime, and there's just like a lot of like the way that they use like really fast like close-ups, or like the way that they use just like like their eyes when they would like see something that they would really love would get like very like doughy-eyed and teardroppy, and it was very, it felt like an anime in a lot of ways. I thought it was so cute, and it was so cute. There was one moment where she thought she's becoming a woman because she thought she was getting her first period. I just thought like,
Mhm.
go off, Pixar's really going for it.
Okay, yeah, that was when the mom brought in the supplies that you need for such a thing. It was fantastic, fantastic. You know what's so interesting about that is the amount of meaning I put on it. I was like, it is about generational trauma. It is about difficult
Yeah,
relationships with mothers and
yeah,
daughters. It is
yeah.
about everybody's like,
No,
or
keep
it's
going.
just
You
it's
no, you are absolutely right. Actually, I mean, I was just setting up the like the premise, like the main
yeah.
fluffy,
Oh, oh,
pun
oh, yes.
intended.
So you were
But
getting ready to say
no,
all
you're
those
so
things. Yeah.
right. Like it is all
Yeah.
those things. It is about generational trauma, because you also have May's mother, who's very, very hard on her daughter, but they have a beautiful
Right.
relationship. It's very hard
Yes.
on her
Yeah.
daughter, but then you see that her mother was hard on her as well. And that, these things just sort of like pass on, but it also becomes sort of like a survival skill for, for folks of how they learn how to survive. But it's also like, again, I thought it was a beautiful movie of like finding your own way, because she didn't throw tradition out the window. It was just like,
Right.
no, I don't need this, but found the right balance for herself. So that was just a really highly recommend it. Seeing Red. Do we have any Pixar fans out there? Anybody else Seeing Red? Have we seen it out there? Get on uppers.
Let's see. Let's see. It's and it could and again, what's so nice about Pixar is that I think it's a lot like The Simpsons, right? Like the amount of layers with which it can be enjoyed is
Yeah.
just like, oh no, those are some funny jokes. These are just some funny bits, and then you can get all the way into that. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. We
Mm.
have 5 people here. I wanna talk to you. That part where, so they're up and they're discussing it all, and the daughter starts to lead the mom of just like, "I'm gonna take the steps that you couldn't take."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah,
my friend, Aneke, who I host Minority Corner with, she has like a 3-year-old, and I
yeah,
just was thinking about her the entire time, because I also
yeah,
like, her relationship with her mother, and she just literally is living this. And I was like, because I know that she is I think she cried during Encanto, like she's cried during
right.
like a lot of these films that really are about like, we are unpacking generational like trauma and hurts and expectations families put onto each other.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking, I was like, did you cry? And she's like, of course I cried.
Of
Like, are you
course I
kidding me?
cried.
Like,
Of
yeah,
course I cried.
like this was
Yeah.
my story. This was my life. And like her daughter loves it. It's her favorite movie. She's like, put on the Red Panda movie. Put on the Red
Oh,
Panda movie. Like Encanto's out. Red Panda's in.
Red Panda's in. Don't
But
care.
there's
Yeah.
something for everybody. And she said that she's seen the movie so many times. And like, it just came out. She's like, yeah.
No, I
It
know.
just
No, I know.
literally the movie stopped and there was a request to start it over again.
Oh my great, which is I mean, listen, we have a difficult, complicated do you remember Facebook when, people would put complicated relationship and you were like, "Oh boy."
Mm,
We have a complicated
mhm.
relationship with Disney, and it is a, "Oh boy." Oh boy.
Stacey, you don't have a Disney Plus.
Oh boy.
I want to see
Oh
what
boy.
we can do to move heaven and earth to get you one. Stacey, I think you would absolutely love it. You would love it. You'd be like Netflix too. There's so
Yeah.
much amazing content on
Yeah.
Netflix. I don't know her.
Yeah.
That would be the new thing.
Especially, don't you think and I haven't watched this, so I'm gonna need you to sort of be my tastemaker in this. So if Stacey loves Star Trek, don't you feel like
Mm.
The Mandalorian and all of those might
Well,
I
I
know that
don't
that's
want
Star
to
Wars. I
because
know that's Star Wars.
no,
Yeah.
no, I know, and I just want to
Okay.
tread lightly here because Stacey could be a very hard. And let us know, Stacey. We're talking about you like you're not here. But Stacey could be a hardcore Trekkie, and sometimes
Right.
Trekkies don't necessarily cross over to Star
They
Wars.
don't like
So
Star Wars. Fair.
Stacey,
That's fair.
you have Netflix and you got Amazon. I would say if you can, just kick on over that Disney Plus. Disney
Okay.
Plus. They even got a bundle. We can get the Hulu's as well, but don't want to. There's so much great because you get your childhood, you get the new stuff, you get Star Wars, you get the Marvel, you just get so much stuff.
I love
Disney,
it.
they're
You
great.
get
Although
the
they need
National
to get it together
Geographic.
with they need to get it together with their. But we learned yesterday about their Buzz Lightyear that they're gonna put the gay kiss back into Buzz Lightyear. And I actually
Right.
think even in Seeing Red, I think one of her friends, the
Yeah.
one that was kind of like sullen,
Yeah.
I think she was clearly she was lesbian.
Well, and the
'Cause
Trenton or whatever is
Trevor
absolutely gay.
is a little gay. Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely. That's why he was being such
great.
a
We're
bully.
getting
But
there.
then he
We're getting
loves
there.
poor
Yeah.
guys. Like it's like okay, maybe there was a moment that was
Yeah.
cut. There was
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we'll work on getting you some Disney Plus, Stacey. And in the meantime, it's time for celebrity birthdays.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to ya.
to ya.
Happy birthday,
Birthday to
celebrities.
celebrities.
Happy
Sarah has said, our producer,
birthday.
that my audio is delayed. So get on numbers if you're seeing that. I'm so sorry. There's no way to fix it. I don't know how the internet works. But if it's delayed for you, I'm so sorry. Hopefully it's got out now.
Oh, for me, it was
Yeah.
always
It's
on
coming in
time.
clean.
I didn't notice.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
didn't
right.
notice
Well,
anything.
great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
celebrities, they have birthdays just like us. And let's see who we got for today. Today is March 22nd, and we are kicking it off with Andrew Lloyd Webber. Andrew Lloyd Webber is turning 74. Renee, I don't know if this is your favorite. How do we feel about Andrew Lloyd Webber?
It's fine.
Fine.
I
Wow.
like Starlight
That's
Express. I like
uh-huh.
Jesus Christ Superstar. I like some songs from Phantom. Fine. It's fine. But I'm ready to
you've
play.
done okay. I
Yes.
want to give you so if you've never played Celebrity Birthday Quiz, here's how it works. We're gonna ask y'all some questions and about these trivia about these people, and you will work as a team to guess the right answer. So enter your device. You can just go say, and you'll say the word of what you think the answer is, or if you're on the YouTubes, you can type out that answer. Now, usually sometimes me and Sarah will collaborate on these questions, and if I think they're too easy, I will kick it up a notch. But you're looking at Staycation James. I have not looked at these questions until today, and I think you are
Okay.
in for a treat, Renee.
In for some wins. In for some wins. When Jam is not at the helm.
What's lower
Yes.
low hanging fruit? Is it just fruit in your hand?
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. Fruit
You've
that
got
I.
fruits on
Yes.
your fruit at your feet.
Exactly.
So I think
Fruit
yeah.
delivery. Exactly. I think Instacart has delivered the fruit. Here you go.
So here's your question, Sarah.
Yes.
Very wants you to win so bad.
Love it.
Name just 3 of his musicals. I was gonna say maybe the
Hey.
question was like name 3 of his top musicals. Sarah, is it just
Right.
name 3 Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals?
3. I feel hopefully we can beat it ourselves. So Cats used to be the longest running musical, but then I think Phantom beat it. So we'll do Cats, Phantom, and yeah, and then I already mentioned so I guess Starlight Express.
Well,
Okay.
let's say, and I think
Yeah.
we're gonna wager. We're gonna say this. I'm gonna say this as a fact. What would you say
Yeah.
are his 3 top musicals? We're gonna turn this up a notch. You
Oh, I
can
like that. Okay, so Cats, Phantom, and JC Superstar.
JC
I wish.
Superstar. All right. So we're going to circle back on that. Sarah, if you're able
Okay.
to, can you Google if those are the top 3 musicals? We'll circle back, put a pin in it. You might be correct. You might not. You might not be.
Right.
All right. Next one. We are moving on over to Constance Wu. Constance Wu. Constance Wu plays the mom on this hit ABC show. Plays the mom on this hit ABC show. Do we
Love it,
know
Sarah.
the
You're being so
name
easy
of
to
the
me. Thank you.
show?
Love it.
Just you
I
wait. I go back
appreciate
to
you, Sarah.
work on I go back to work on Thursday. So I'll
Okay.
be going
All
back to work.
right. And then they're getting tricky again. And then they're getting tricky. But this is nice. This is nice for the get on uppers. You know what I think is nice about this is that we're all on vacation, including but not limited to these questions, which I am grateful for.
Name a celebrity.
I
And welcome to
believe
Paulina and Eddie. We are doing our celebrity birthday quiz. The question is, it's Constance Wu's birthday. The question is, she plays the mom on this ABC show. I see Renee's hands typing,
yes.
and I hope they're not Googling nothing.
No, they're not. They're up. They're up.
And never
it's
forget,
just
week 1, Renee's like, well, let's just see
I
here.
just Google it.
Let's...
I'll just Google it. Would you look who's here? Eddie and Aaron here to help me out. Eddie and Aaron, I'm so happy to have you here. We're wondering what ABC sitcom is constant. Wait, hold on.
Constance Wu?
Is that? Yeah. Well, okay. Yes, I'm making sure that I got the question right. Did I get that right? Because that is Constance Wu. And does everybody agree it's fresh off the boat? We all feel good about fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat is the correct answer. Follow-up question. Yes. Off the rails. Can you name the movie that she stars in, which is based on a hit book? It took over the world and is set to be part of a trilogy of movies. She plays the lead in it. Michelle Yeoh is in it. Gemma Chan is in it. She was in a hit movie. It's based on a book. And it's a trilogy
is it
of
not
books.
Already? Is it already
out? The movie's already out. It is. It's already out. It came out already. People loved it. They went crazy for it. There's like, when's the next 2 coming out?
Okay, good. That's what I needed. That's what I needed. So it's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, right?
Like they went crazy for this movie.
Sure.
And it was made so much money.
Sure.
This
crazy money. Final answer.
You're like, stick to the Sarah questions, please. Stick to the Sarah questions. Oh, does anybody else know? Get on uppers. Renee is wrong. Does anybody else know the movie that she starred in based on a book?
Proud to be.
Trilogy of books. Doing great. Okay, let's take a second swing at this, and the answer is we're looking for
Aaron's got it.
Asians.
Crazy rich Asians.
You're close, raisins.
Raisins. Yes.
I just combined Renee's name with Asians. That's great.
Yeah.
Not getting canceled. I won't be getting canceled anytime soon. Moving on. I've embarrassed myself enough. Well, happy birthday, Constance Wu, turning 40. It is George Benson's 79th birthday. Okay, and look at this.
Oh, look at there.
Sarah has just chimed in. Andrew Lloyd Webber's top musicals are Phantom, Cats, and Sunset Boulevard. So we're off by one. I would have thought. Right.
I didn't know that either.
Same with you. Yeah, Sunset Boulevard. There's a great song that I listen to on my night playlist from Sunset Boulevard. I forget the name of it. Love it, clearly. George Benson, turning 79 today. Singer, known for his song about this. Okay, we'll do a little name that tune. Let me see.
Okay.
Okay, oh gosh, let me I'm on the spot.
Okay. You can do it. On Broadway?
Wow.
Okay.
On Broadway.
I didn't know George Benson wrote that. They say that. Oh, you're perfect. You nailed it.
Did I? Because I think I only got
You
the
did. You truly I got it based off that.
the rest of it. I think I was a a do. I'm wrong. I think I kind of said it as well. Name this tune I'm singing the title of.
Hilarious. That's very funny.
Oh gosh. Well, happy birthday. Renee nailed it. All right. It is Guillermo Diaz, his 47th birthday. We love him. We love Guillermo Diaz. He was, look at this handsome man, and he
Come
plays for
on, a
my
bow tie and
team.
everything. Love
He's
it.
adorable. He was on this hit show, ran on for 7 seasons.
Yes.
It was
Can't do it. It's too much. It's too much. Get on numbers. I'm gonna
can't
need you.
say the next hint.
Didn't watch
That'll
the
give you too
show.
obvious. I love this show so much.
Okay.
It does come from the Shondaland house. He was
Oh,
on for
Scandal?
7 seasons.
Was he on Scandal?
He was on. Well, I'll give
Okay.
you a hint. I'll give you a hint.
Yes.
It's been handled.
Oh.
Fix it. You gotta earn me. Those are greatest hits from Scandal.
Are these? I'm
lines
saying
from Scandal.
Scandal. Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
lines from
Love it.
Scandal.
Love it.
Fix
That
it.
is delightful.
You've got to
And I-
earn me. It's been handled. And then she stops and she
It's
throws her
been
phone at him.
handled is the best line from your lead, or I'll handle it. Is I love it.
It's
I
so
love
good.
it so much.
It's so good.
So much.
Can you name he also appeared in a pop starlet's music video in 2011. Do you want to name the pop starlet?
The pop starlet.
Pop
who had a music
starlet.
video?
A music video. And
Lady
think about,
Gaga.
I would know, but I would know and love this.
Sure.
Right.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah, I don't know what music video was he in.
Get ready to kick yourself in the
Yeah.
face.
Let's
Britney
hear it.
Spears, I want to
Britney.
go. Yeah,
Great.
he was in it.
Great.
He was like,
We love
Britney,
it.
let's go. She was being hounded by the paparazzi. He pulls up, and it's the music video. I want to go. It's the paparazzi are chasing after her, but then they become like robots from Terminator, and she has to like defeat them. But then it turns out he's a robot too.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. All right.
Guess whose birthday it is? Keegan Michael Key. It's Keegan Michael Key's birthday. All right. He originally wanted to be this kind of actor before he went into comedy.
Look
He
at that.
originally wanted to be this kind of actor before he went into comedy. Do we know? Get on Uppers. You can save the answer into your Excel device.
I wonder. So it's either dramatic or theater before we went to comedy. Again, yeah, I guess let's see. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? A music actor, Stacey says. I'll take that. A music actor is good. Yeah, sure. Let's go with it. What Stacey said, a musical theater performer.
That is such a great guess because I mean it would track because he was in Schmigadoon. He was also in The Prom, but it was Shakespeare. He wanted to be a Shakespearean.
Look at that. That's very cool. Amazing.
Okay, Reese Witherspoon turning 46. Turning 46. Can you name the movie where she met her then husband? What was the name of the movie where she met her then husband? So you have to know who the husband was. Do you remember who her husband was?
Yeah, Ryan Phillippe. And
yes.
Was it Cruel Intentions?
Was it Cruel Intentions? Let's look to the scoreboard. The answer is yes. Yes. And that was the question I just made up on the spot.
That was great. Do you know that because of Sarah Michelle Gellar? Because Sarah was in it? Is that why you know that movie?
It's my Brat Pack. My Brat Pack was Sarah Michelle Gellar, her. I know this is the thing where I'm like, Reese Witherspoon's career is still kicking, and I'm just like, where's SMG? How come Sarah Michelle Gellar is not doing a Big Little Lies? I just don't understand. I don't get it.
I know.
You weren't Buffet.
Thank you. Ding, ding, ding from Stacy is the best way to start a day. Oh my
Oh,
goodness, I
yeah.
love it so much.
No,
I love
I'll
it.
be calling you and letting you know that every day. I
Yeah.
can you also this is the question from Sarah. Can you name the movie that she starred in with Matthew Broderick, which is eerily similar to my life in student government in high school? I see this movie and
Oh,
I'm like,
sure.
oh no, that was me.
Yes. Oh, was it? Oh, that explains everything. How much
Whoa!
did you relate to Tracy Flick? Like, give me specifics. How much did you relate to Tracy Flick? Were there buttons?
I
Were there
can't have
buttons? Did you make your own
I can't.
buttons? Did you make your own buttons?
Very intense about student government. I ran that school very intensely, and I'm like,
I
oh, this is.
believe it.
I had to turn off the TV. Do you know?
I love
Remember
it.
you remember her
Yeah.
name too?
Yes. Get on uppers. Do you agree? So she played Tracy Flick in
Yes.
Election.
Yep.
Yes.
That was that.
Great.
That was
Great,
it.
great, great. That's so funny.
Uh,
You know what's so interesting is that I also was like, I was fully Tracy Flick, but I was in the
oh
program.
wait.
The intensity and the severity with which I took it, like it was all consuming. All consuming. I related a lot, not for government, but for
Yeah.
studying and preparing
Well,
and
that makes sense. That tracks. That tracks for you, Miss Lady. All right. Two more. Renee, it must be
yes.
your birthday because look at this another Broadway. It's been a
No.
day of Broadway.
Looky
Oh,
there.
I thought we were gonna go Stephen Sondheim, but we'll
Oh,
go.
sure. It's okay. William Shatner, I'm sure, walked the boards at some point. I feel certain. Maybe.
I just love that setup. I'm like, Renee, it must be your birthday
Yeah.
because
It's like,
here's
yeah,
another gift.
William
William
Shatner.
Shatner. We know Renee loves all things Star Trek. Wow. Sarah loves you. It must be your birthday. Okay.
I love it. I love it. Hilarious.
Most
Hilarious.
known for his role on what show? Oh,
Captain
gosh, I
Kirk,
gotta.
Star Trek. I don't know what he played.
Dang, I didn't even ask for a name of the character. I just want to know the name of the show. Star Trek. Renee, Stacy, of course, Stacy do that as well. We love it. Of course.
Stacy.
All right. I gotta
Wait,
take a
but
look at
was
these
he Captain Kirk?
questions. Yes, he was. Absolutely. You
Really?
nailed it.
That was a guess. Okay. I knew Star Trek.
Okay. Last one. It's Stephen Sondheim's 90. Wait, he's not alive anymore?
Yeah, he's not with us anymore. It would have been.
It would have been.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
a note in here, Sarah. When you're not here. So I don't go embarrassing myself.
So tweet at him. Let him know you love him.
I was like, wait a minute. It would have been his 92nd birthday. Known for this musical that has recently been revived. This is the New York Insider question. I think Sarah was walking down the street and was like, no, writing down my trivia question. Beep, bop, boop, bop, bop, bop.
Love it. Oh, on Broadway, Company. But then
Look
he
at
was
that.
also part of
She
West Side
doesn't
Story.
even need. Okay.
Sorry, Jesus.
Renee, just going. Actually, and if you didn't know, no, it's great.
Okay.
I feel like that one girl who Renee, reason why Renee is like, oh, I will never. She had done pot once, and there was a girl singing. They were making cookies, and the girl was singing probably something from Stephen Sondheim, and Renee's just like off key. Was that it? Was that the
You're
line
flat.
that you said? Even worse.
Terrible. Just terrible. I don't love it. I don't love it. I do not love it. I'm so sorry.
Renee, Broadway, you are Tracy Flick when it comes to your Broadway, your theater.
Specific, like it has to be around my fundamental development years. Because if it is not, then I don't know it. So it is a very, very narrow gauge. When I know what I know, and when I don't, I don't. But when it comes to Sondheim, I know a little bit.
Can you follow up this one? I think you will know this. Stephen Sondheim was very influential in the life of this late Broadway musical composer taken from us too soon.
Oh, sure. Jonathan Larson, as you will notice,
right.
in Tick, Tick, Boom.
Yeah. And Tick, Tick, Boom. Yeah. And
Tick, Tick,
Boom.
Played brilliantly by Bradley Whitford.
Oh, that's who did it.
What's lovely and nice is that Sondheim got to see Tick, Tick, Boom before he died. So that's nice.
Oh,
And
okay.
got to give feedback. Love it. We
Sure.
all love
Yeah.
Sondheim.
Well, I just want to do a quick little audio check where Sarah
Yeah.
producer is saying that I'm a mime and that no one can hear me, but I feel like Renee is
I
talking
hear
to
you
me.
great.
So
You sound good.
not sure. Not sure what's happening.
Get on numbers. Do
So
you want to give us feedback? You say to your device, say,
I
sounds
can't hear
good,
Jen.
guys. Or
Yep.
say, I can't hear anything.
Mhm.
But I think, yeah.
And look at that.
Stacey's
Stacey can hear
in the
me.
corner.
We're good to
Yeah.
go. All
All
right.
right.
Sorry, Sarah. Only Sarah can't. You're missing out
Yes.
on this. All right. We're gonna switch gears. How do we you might have to repeat what I say so that Sarah knows
Oh,
where we're
sorry.
going, Renee.
So
We're
Sarah,
gonna
I feel
we're gonna
like, yeah. Sorry.
we're gonna
Sorry.
switch gears and go to our women's history moment. We're going to go to our women's history moment here. We are going to Josephine Baker. We're going to talk about Josephine Baker today. Really a great, amazing all-star of a legend. Curious, get on uppers. Are we familiar with Josephine Baker? Are we clear? Are we curious? We are going to our women's history moment. That's the segment that we are in, and we're going to talk about Josephine Baker. All right,
Pew, pew,
Sarah,
pew. Pew,
can you
pew.
can you let can you Renee? Can you
Yes,
let Sarah
yes.
know
Okay.
what
Okay. That
segment
we would love
we're
to.
we're in? Yep.
When you get a sec,
We can throw some
can you?
pictures of Josephine Baker. All right, so it is still Women's History Month, and we wanted to do a deep dive into the amazing Josephine Baker. So strap on in, folks. We are going to tell you all about her. Fabulous, what a woman.
Arizona.
So she was
Yeah.
born Josephine Baker. Actually, she was born Frida Josephine McDonald, and
Look
then
at there.
she eventually got naturalized as a French citizen, and she became Josephine Baker later on. But she was born June 3rd, 1906. There's her in her very popular banana dance dress there. There she is. It was these fake bananas. She would put them on as she was dancing, but that is later on in life. So if you're like, well, why is she important? Why are we talking about her? Okay, calm down. I know you're excited.
Also,
She
don't
was
come
born
at that so defensively.
What are we doing here?
Okay.
Do Malcolm in the Middle. Okay, not
Yikes.
wrong. I'm not Bryan Cranston. She was an American-born French entertainer. She was also a French resistance agent. She was a spy, a civil rights activist, and a mother of many children. So let's go on the adventure of Josephine Baker. As I said, she was born
Yes.
June 3rd, 1906. She was born in St. Louis, and her mother, she was adopted in Little Rock, Arkansas. So she came from this family that adoption was in her blood. Put a pin in that because she would eventually do very much the same. Her parents who adopted her were both were former slaves of African and Native American descendants. So they, again, kind of coming from, just people talk about pulling yourself up from your bootstraps when you ain't even got boots. I don't have any boots. You burned the boots I did have. Her early life was in this is her as her as a performer. But in her early life, she was on the street called 212 Targhee Street, and it was known as Johnson Street in the Mill Creek Valley in St. Louis. And it was a racially mixed, low-income neighborhood near Union Station. It had some houses, there were some brothels, but it was like, again, pretty much a poor, desolate neighborhood. She didn't come from anything. She was often hungry, but she had street smarts. So think about this. It's Josephine Baker. She's like, oh, I got these street smarts. I know how to handle myself. And in 1917, when she was 11, there was a life-changing moment that really stuck with her. She saw just this huge, this racial violence that was happening. And she said that she's like, I can still see it. I was looking over East St. Louis and watching the glow of the burning Negro homes lighting the sky. And we children huddled together, just frightened. And they could hear just like these screams. And so talk about trauma, right? Like this is the thing that is like 11 years old. This is what she's witnessing. This is what she's seeing. And she's like, oof. life is gonna be tough. Josephine, I better saddle on in. So by 12, she was like, school's not for me. And listen, school's not for everybody. School's not for everybody. And she dropped out. And at 13, she worked as a waitress at the Old Chauffeurs Club. So that was like kind of her beginning. She was, sleeping in cardboard shelters, scavenging for food, just everywhere that she could. Unless I said she was working at the Chauffeurs Club, and this is where she met Willie Wells, and she married him at the age of 13. So one thing about Josephine Baker, we probably won't get into it. She had a lot of marriages. She really was like the Beyonce, the Jennifer Lopez of her day. Angelina Jolie of her day. You'll see why I'm saying that. Hint, she adopted a lot of children. And so she was kind of just doing all these things that, people weren't necessarily, just trailblazing. And she was her own woman. She couldn't be defined. And I also find this too, Renee. A lot of times, especially like bad mama jamma, female pioneer celebrities, they get married a lot. I wonder what that
Right.
is. I'm similar. I haven't
Yeah.
gotten married a lot, but I've had a lot of short-lived
Yeah.
relationships. And had
Uh-huh.
I been married, my star chart even says you will have a lot of marriages. It says it in my star chart,
Whoa.
24 pages long,
Where is
and
my
it
star chart
says it.
say? Well, I want to figure that out.
I can
I
link
mean,
you. I have an
yeah.
astrologist. She's in Amsterdam. I'll link you to her. My
Okay, please
friend.
do. Please
Shout
do.
out
But
to Anne.
think the takeaway isn't, well, what about Renee? The takeaway is, yes, the stars the likes of which are Josephine Baker and Jam are are needing to share the wealth, to spread
Yeah,
the
we've
love.
too much
Yes.
love to give that one
Yes.
human cannot take it all because it is a
No.
lot. We are bringing
It is
a
not a lot.
lot to you, and it's too much for one person to handle. They can't handle it. We're too much.
I truly love it.
So Josephine Baker is like a testament to when you don't accept no. Because she was
Right.
like, I want to be a performer. And the show manager was like, go away. You can't perform here. And so she just kept badgering the show manager, and eventually got into a vaudeville show. And at the age of 13, she's married, living her best life. She was like,
Yeah.
I'm out of here, St. Louis. Ain't nothing here for me. I'm off to
Okay.
New York City, where there's the Harlem Renaissance. And she performed at the Plantation Club. Don't love the name of that club.
No, nobody loves the name of that. That's real bad.
Don't
Real
love
bad.
that. And I do believe so at this club, it was very like it was even hard enough to get into this club to perform.
Right.
And they would do the brown paper bag test where you could not perform if you were darker than a brown paper bag. So even though we're having black performers, there's still this colorism thing that is happening. In order to survive and be a performer,
Ugh.
you had to be light skinned. And we'll get to this
My
in a moment,
God.
but this is her in her spoiler alert, her army regalia when she was working for the French. So we'll get to that in a moment. So she secured a role in the chorus line, and she would kind of do this thing like she would come out where she was like, oh, I'm a bad dancer. And then she would just show everybody that she was full of them all along. And she had huge success in the Broadway review of Shuffle Along.
Cute.
Yes, and it brought the attention of Florence Mills, Paul Robeson. All these people were like, "Oh my gosh, who is she? She is amazing." So, but as you can imagine, like it's still the 1920s. Racism's gonna racism, and she's like, "I don't think that." Even though the Harlem Renaissance was going on, she's like, "I don't think the U.S. is the place for me where I need to be." So she's like, "I'm out of here." She went off to
Right.
Paris, and about I think it was like 1925. She opened the La Revue Negra at Theatre des the Champs-Élysées. She was there at the Champs-Élysées, legendary. Yes.
Look at that. Okay.
Yeah. And so while she was there, everyone's like, wow, she's amazing. And she was the most successful American entertainer working in France. American. I'm not even saying African American. I'm saying American entertainer working in France. She was killing it. She was slaying it. She was doing her banana dance and her banana skirt. They're like, ooh, look at her go. Look at her legs. She would just be flapping her legs, moving so fast. People are like, ooh,
Right.
look at her go. Ernest Hemingway, the reviews are in. Ernest Hemingway called her the most sensational woman anyone ever saw. and he spent hours talking with her in Paris bars. Picasso was like, she's amazing. I luckily can at least see what she's doing 'cause I'm missing my ear. And he drew a
Right.
painting depicting her alluring beauty. Jean Cocteau became friendly with her and helped her essentially get into stardom. He was like, all right, I'm gonna be a star. And she was like, okay. She had different hair gels, like shoes, cosmetics. Like she was, again, before there was a J-Lo doing all her things, we had,
Right.
we had Josephine Baker doing it up.
Yeah.
So her career is taken off in France. She was the first Black woman to star in a motion picture in 1927 in the silent film Siren of the Tropics. And during her early career, Baker was one of the most celebrated performers to headline the review of the Folies Bergerac in Paris. And her performance in 1927 of, here's another French word. I took Spanish, I just want to say. So I
Yes.
am.
No, you're killing it. You're doing such a great job. I
Well,
did
wait
take
till I
French, and I
pronounce.
couldn't help you with
Well,
any of these.
Well,
Okay,
wait
well,
till
let's
I
hear.
pronounce this one. Un
Okay.
vent de folie in 1927.
Yes, correct. Sounds great to me.
Okay.
On
Yep,
vin de folie.
She caused quite a sensation in the city. Her costumes were consisting again of her only short skirt of artificial bananas, and she had a beaded necklace, and it really became one of the iconic symbols of both jazz and the Roaring Twenties. Like icon, like pioneer icon, like just doing it
Right.
up. Okay, I want to get to the most interesting thing about, well, I mean, it's also interesting, but did you all know? So Josephine Baker's doing all that, but did you know that she
Right.
was a spy during World War II?
What?
Oh,
Okay.
you didn't know this? Okay, yeah,
No.
I didn't know this either. Yes, you thought just you just very
Yeah.
similar to Harriet Tubman. You're like, oh yeah, Underground Railroad. She freed the slaves. She was also a spy for the during the Civil War for the
Right.
Union. Like,
Right.
and so is Josephine Baker. Okay, here's what happened.
Okay,
So
tell me.
in the early days of World War II, recruiting spies, there were, they'd have spies to get information from Nazi Germany, and the other Axis powers. They were getting information about them, and they typically would use men who could travel incognito. But who better
Right.
than a American-born dancer and singer who's like getting into these different high-end places
Wow.
over in
Yeah. Huh.
Europe?
Right.
I mean, she was an unlikely spy, but remember, she was growing up in just like pretty much a war zone. So she was growing up in
Yeah.
like a really
I
chaotic
don't know. Seems
environment. So
normal to me.
she was
Yeah.
like, I got this. I'm ready to do my part. And for her, fame would be her cover. And so her friend had hoped that she could use her charm and beauty and stardom to seduce secrets from the lips of fawning diplomats at embassy parties. And so she had all, and she loved, I mean, France was her home. She had so much more freedom and love in France. And that happened with a lot of like Black artists throughout, like not even just the Roaring Twenties, but even through the 50s and the 60s. They would go to France because they weren't experiencing the same form of racism that they were experiencing over in the US. And she said, this was her adopted country. She said, France made me what I am. The Parisians gave me their hearts, and I am ready to give them my life.
Wow.
And she had, like I said, she had a lot of different like husbands. She had married, I'm trying to figure out, she had married, was it John Leon? I forget the one who had given her actual name, but it's not about who she was married to, it's about what she did. So you can, if you want to who her okay.
Oh,
Sorry, can you hear me? It says the
yep, you
host
sound good to me.
muted my
It
mic.
did
Okay.
it bleeped real quick, but it didn't. But now you're back. You're
Okay.
back and
All
you
right.
sounding better than ever.
Wild things happening on the back end over there. It was like the host muted your mic. The host
Oh,
unmuted your mic.
great.
Sarah's censoring me. I'm just kidding. Um, Okay, you can hear me, Stacey. Okay, Stacey's like, give
Okay, good.
me more of the story. So she would hear sometimes, go back to Africa from like the fascists while performing in Europe, but she was like, whatever, this is my country, and this is driving me even more to spy for you. So get ready. So, She started her espionage career by attending diplomatic parties. She was also trained in like marksmanship. I think it was like judo, like so she could fight. Like she was like ready to do it up. And so she would go to these diplomatic parties of the Italian and Japanese embassies, being like, "Oh, okay, I'm performing. I'm performing. What are these secrets?" And
Right.
she would just be like listening of all the different secrets, and she had no fear. She would be like dancing, and then she'd be like listening, and then be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go attack over here," and she's just like, and she would write these things on her hand and on her under her arms and on her sleeves. She was getting into places, and no one
Whoa.
thought she was a spy. Like, oh, that's just a banana dancer. She doesn't know
Right.
anything. She's a dumb black lady. And meanwhile, as Stacey pointed out, don't judge a book by its cover, because that book is spying on you and helping to bring you down. But you deserve it because you're evil and you're doing wrong. And as we know, God don't like ugly. So
Right.
So, and this is like again when your teacher said don't write things on your hands, you could be helping to end a war. So,
Exactly.
Jonathan,
Exactly. You never
Jonathan.
know. Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
and the
Interesting.
weeks after the German forces they roared into France, Baker she was continuing her nightly performances in Paris. She sang to soldiers on the waterfront over the radio, and she was comforting refugees and homeless shelters. And when the invaders closed in on Paris in early June 1940, she insisted that like her friend was like, we got to get out of here, and she loaded all of her possessions, including her golden piano and a bed once owned by Marie Antoinette, into vans, and they departed for a chateau 300 miles to the southwest, as just Nazis were just like coming in. And then in her Paris home, she was hiding refugees and French resistance members in her new headquarters.
This is
Um,
extraordinary.
Yeah,
I
it's like
think.
where
Yeah.
she needs I don't
Yeah.
you can't even do all this like in a movie. You need like a full Netflix series. Like,
Right.
I'm sorry that
Right.
we've gone over time, but I feel like we have to keep
No, are you
talking
kidding? No,
about her.
everybody's loving it. This is great. Keep going. Keep
All
going.
right.
Keep
All
going.
right. So she was also okay, get this. Okay, in
I'm listening. I'm listening.
1940,
Tell us everything.
she
Yes.
worked to smuggle documents to one of the French generals for the Free French government, Charles de Gaulle, and who was in exile in London. So what happened was she was under the guise of embarking on a South American tour. She's like, "Oh, I'm just going over to South America. Nothing to see here. Just me. Got to go entertain people." But the entertainer, she hid secret photographs under her dress. I think it's like a real dress, not like her banana dress, because you're not hiding much underneath there, sister. But she hid these photographs underneath her dress, and she carried along sheet music with information about German troop movements in France written in invisible ink. And all eyes were just transfixed on this.
Just
I
gonna
know.
toss out invisible ink. That's listen. It's great. It's full blown
Just
spy.
in case they were like, wait a minute, what's written on here? And then it's like, oh, this is just sheet music, but there's secrets written on here of like what their troop movements were. And also people are just like, oh my gosh, here comes a star. Like, I know we're, kind of, bombing her and her people, but like, oh my God, it's her. Let her through, let her through. And so they're like, just like transfixed on her. She was crossing the border to Spain and on her way to neutral Portugal. The French security chief was posed as Baker's security, or no, her secretary, and they got no notice from the German officials. They're like, oh, that's just Josephine Baker. You go on through. What's the sheet music? I can't see anything. Cute music. All right, keep on going. And so she was doing all kinds of this stuff. This is what she was doing, and the limelight allowed her to travel in the forefront, but also in the shadows. And so in Portugal and in Spain, she continued to get details from the Axis troop movements. She just kept doing it away, just keep spying on them. She was in bathrooms, hiding, listening to secret meetings. She detailed notes and attached them. In one time, there's a secret agent made detailed notes and attached them to her bra with a safety pin. And she said, my notes would have been highly compromising had they been discovered, but who would dare search Josephine Baker to the skin? And when they asked me for my papers, they generally meant my autographs. So Yeah, so she did all of this. She was in Casablanca doing things. Like she brought along like she was just doing all kinds of things. She was also fighting in North Africa. She worked for the French resistance there, and she used her connections to secure passports for Jews fleeing the Nazis in Eastern Europe. Um, she was once hospitalized in 1940 to the point where she was so incredibly ill that the Chicago Defender accidentally ran her obituary, and Langston Hughes was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry she's gone." And she's like, "Well, yeah, I am fine. I'm just a little
Yeah.
sick."
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, "Oh, there's been a slight error," and she said, "I'm much too busy to die." Yep. That is when she was.
Is that on her epitaph? I hope so.
I'm much too
That's
busy to die.
good.
She's
I'm much too
still
busy to
alive
die.
today. Still alive today. No, just kidding. But her spy work continued. Countdown happening on the screen.
Was it
Uh,
I saw it too. I also saw it. This is fun. The paranormal has taken us over.
it's
Did you
the
see me just lift my hands? I'm
ghost.
like, I don't think I did
It's the
anything.
ghost of Josephine Baker. Even Aaron chimed in. Oh, what happened? Yeah, that was weird. We're gonna countdown. I can tell you the rest of the story in three,
Love
two,
it.
one.
2,
Here
1,
we are.
boom. Love
So
it.
after she was finally discharged, she toured the Allied military camps all over the place. And by day, she rode in jeeps across the scorching deserts of North Africa. And at night, she bundled and slept on the ground next to her vehicle and landmines. So after the liberation of Paris, she returned to the city that she loved. After a 4-year absence, she was dressed in her blue air auxiliary lieutenant's uniform, which Sarah had showed us that picture earlier. And then she had, gold epaulets on it, and she got the highest honor in France. She got the Croix de Guerre and the Legion of Honor because of her spy work. So that was that. And
Sure.
then that is just a drop in the bucket. There's also she had relationships with, I believe it was oh yeah, so she had many lovers. So there was man lovers, but she was also bisexual. There's
Oh,
speculation
yeah?
that she had relationships with Ada Bricktop Smith, French novelist Colette, and possibly even Frida Kahlo. So
Look at
on that.
that. That's
She
incredible.
also had like 13 children. She adopted 13 children from around the world. She called them I think it was the Rainbow Coalition, or the Rainbow Connection, something. Let me see if I can see it. The Rainbow. It was just, they were, again, before there was
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie adopting the children of the world. She was doing it. And then she also was doing work for civil rights movement during 1950s. She was, refused when they were refused reservations at 36 hotels because of racial discrimination. She was so
Yeah.
upset by this treatment. She wrote articles about segregation in the United States. She also was traveling in the South. She gave a talk at Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, on France, North Africa, and equality of the races in France, because she had seen that it was different,
Right.
over there. She also was worked on the big "I Have a Dream" speech, that big
Sure.
old march, the
Ah,
March on Jobs and Freedom. She was
yeah.
also involved in that. And then
Incredible.
on the 8th of April, 1975, she starred in a retrospective uh, at the Bobino in Paris, celebrating 50 years of show business. So it was a big review show for her. It was financed by, Prince Rainier and Princess Grace and Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. It was open to rave reviews, and there was just demand seating. You couldn't get a seat in the house. Opening night in audience, Mick Jagger was there, Shirley Bassey, Diana Ross, Liza Minnelli, Sophia Loren. And then here's how her story wraps up.
Okay.
4 days later, our beloved hero performer, Josephine Baker, was found lying peacefully in her bed, surrounded by newspapers with glowing reviews of her performance. And she was in a coma after suffering a cerebral hemorrhage, and she was taken to the hospital, but she died at the age of 68 on the 12th of April, 1975. She is the only American-born woman to receive full French military honors at her funeral. I mean, you can imagine her funeral was this huge what to do, and that is the story. A drop in the bucket. I mean, there's just even so much more, but that was the story of Miss Josephine Baker.
Extraordinary. That's incredible. Truly incredible. That
Yeah.
is 8,000 lives in one life.
She did
Unbelievable.
so much. She did
Yeah.
so much. Get on uppers. Curious, had you heard of Josephine Baker? Was any of that a surprise to you? It's one of those names I had heard before. I knew she'd performed the Banana Dance, but her work during World War II alone, and then even just her civil rights work too, when she came back, sometimes she just saw the injustices that were happening, and NAACP named her Woman of the Year in 1951. So she just and then adopted all these different children.
That's extraordinary. And I was looking it up while you were talking about it. I think it was called the Rainbow Tribe is
The
what
Rainbow Tribe.
we
There
love
it
it.
is. Look
We
at
love
that.
it. Just
Thank you,
incredible.
Renee.
Just
It's so cute.
absolutely
And there was like
extraordinary.
13. She had like 13 of them. Like it was just like
Yeah.
really adorable kids from all over the world.
I can't. Damn, this is so good. That was so extraordinary. I kind of like the extended versions of it because we got to learn so much. I wonder how long it would take to like actually say everything she's done.
Oh my god, we would
It's
have to do like the
incredible.
entire 2 hour of Get On Up. And look at Stacey's
Yeah.
chiming in. This is amazing. How she can do so much in one life and so inspiring and under
Yeah.
such like not great times and circumstances. And she still like did what she loved to do. She wanted to perform. And remember, she came from nothing, right?
Right.
Like she came from nothing. She was pretty much homeless on the street at one point and just, scrapping along and did what she needed to do. Did what she needed to do.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thank you for doing such an in-depth situation. You are the very, very best. Now, what's nice about this is that the story of this has taken us all the way until 8:20. We blazed on past the second hour of the show. So we have more content than you could ever possibly
So
want or need, to the point
much.
where I feel like we can lay out a spread for our listeners, our viewers, our watchers, and be like, what would you like next? What sounds fun? I feel like just a little taste of news, right? Just a little today I
Yeah,
saw.
give us a
That sound
taste of
fun for
news.
you?
I feel like you've got some. I feel like you particularly have some
Sure.
fun things.
Got a little bit of today. Gosh, there's so many good things that I want. Well, let me pick. Which one do I want? Which one do I want? I guess let's just go. I thought this was sweet. It's just a sweet story. So we reference her all the time. Our sweet little Hoda copy. That is the North Star with which we are chasing. She and Savannah, Georgia. Is that her last name? Savannah Guthrie. Oh
Savannah
boy.
Guthrie.
Savannah Guthrie. Yeah. Had like the loveliest little conversation yesterday talking about being old moms. Hoda Kotb is 57. Savannah Guthrie is 50. They both had kids well past their 40s. And I think for Hoda, it's even 50. And, what societal pressures of that feel like. And, but they were talking about how, like, imagine, and I wonder if this is like sort of a thought experiment that Jam, you and I could do. Imagine having a kid at 24 and the maturity level with which you were with, the like patience that you had. I feel so much more wiser, calmer, rational,
Yeah.
that like almost a shadow of the self that I was at 24. So they were saying that old moms, sure, okay, I can see all the reasons why that might be bad, but the amount of patience and wisdom and like grace you allow for the parenting is a good thing. And so I guess my today I saw that they were sort of putting hey, here's why old moms are good, but I think it could also be a conversation of I think old moms are better.
I think
Would much
so, because
rather
you've
have a
also,
patient.
like,
Yeah.
lived your life. I could
Yeah.
imagine it must be so hard being a mom, and, like, shout out to young moms out there, you're all doing it up. My
Oof.
mom was
Yeah,
a
you're
young
killing it.
mom.
You're killing it. You're
She
killing so
had
was mine.
I can't
Killing it. Yes.
imagine. My mom had my brother when she was, like, 18 and me when she was 23. I can't
Eesh.
even imagine. Just because it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I was, like, going out, I was, like, doing my thing, and once you are in your 30s, you're like, "I don't wanna go out, I just wanna hang out," and
Yeah.
that what better time to have a child than when you're just like, "I just wanna hang out at home." Perfect, great.
Yeah.
Bring me the baby. And you maybe have,
Perfect.
like, lived your life and your experience a little bit more, especially your brain doesn't finish
Right.
forming till you're 26. So, having a kid, your brain's at least more finished formed at that point, it's
Exactly.
but on
Exactly.
the flip
Yes.
side, for the young parents, not to be like, "Uh-oh, did I do it wrong?" You're doing it right, you're doing it perfectly. You're gonna get your life back once they're out of the house. You'll be young
Sure.
enough to go and do something, whereas the older parents have to make sure they got it already, out of the way.
Right. Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
myself, I intend to be an older parent of sorts. I'm
Good.
gonna
Okay.
Josephine Baker this,
Yeah, you are.
adopt
Just do
13 children and be a spy. Mm.
And if anybody could pull it off, it's you and Josephine. Those are the 2 who could do it. So I give kudos to this. So that was just a today. It literally was a today I saw, and I liked it, and I thought it was sweet and good, and had a lot of strong points of, yeah, all is great. All moms are perfect at any age, but if you're nervous about like, oh no, I missed my window, I can't be a good mom after 40 or 50. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can.
Well,
So I think
I will do want to say, Stacey's
yes,
giving me some honest feedback. Doesn't
yeah.
see how I can possibly pull off being a spy. I don't know. Get me into the war effort. If things turn sour,
Thank you.
we're taking Get On Up on the road. We're so popular. We're over there in
Right.
Russia. Like, all right, we're doing a show from over
Amazing.
here. Passing
Amazing.
secrets, passing secrets. Um, I have 2 things I would like to talk about today if we
Yes.
have time. One
Yeah.
is after 30 years of determining whether you are the father or not, Mari Povich is retiring from television. Mari, do we have any Mari fans in the house? Kind of the last bastion of that sort of daytime trashy talk show.
Right.
Kind of the last
Yeah.
standing one. I mean, there was a time when there were so many. It was oh yeah, Stacey, you watched Mari growing up. Yep,
Of
same,
course. Of
right?
course.
Oh my gosh. I want to do like there was one time when it was like they could not figure out who the father was. There was
Yeah.
like 14 guys
What
on
is
that tank.
happening? Yeah.
And they just kept it's always so sad. They showed the picture of like little baby Charlie, zoom in, and he's just like "Nyah, nyah, 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 nyah,
Yeah.
nyah, nyah." And
Yeah.
at one point, this was inappropriate. The guys were high-fiving each other when each one was revealed. And Charles, you're not the father. High five, high
Yeah.
five, high five. And we still
Yeah.
don't know. So
Hate it. Hate it.
no more. Well, Renee, you get to hate it no longer because
Okay.
oh
Tell me
man, I
everything.
does that mean that time is ticking for me to take you on Mari? What would I take you on Mari for?
Yeah, what would that be?
Turns out I have a
She
secret crush.
is.
I don't know. She's my
Yeah, I
wife.
mean, probably. That seems accurate to me. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay. Well, it's putting me on a lie detector test. A crush, but a crush that I know that there's nothing I can do about it. I know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, against the I didn't realize this. The show is eventually it was the Mari Povich show, and then it became just Mari. He was like, "Get rid of the Povich. Everyone knows me. I'm Madonna, like Madonna, Mari, one name."
Mhm.
Um, Yes, and so he is retiring. I believe the man is like 89. The show started in 1991 as the Mari Povich show, rebranded as Mari in 1998. It inherited the daytime TV mantle from Jerry Springer, just really kicking up that that like drama space.
Yeah.
So where it's the end of an era. Ricky Lake's no longer. You got Jenny Jones. Well, Jenny Jones had that thing where she had to get out because that guy killed the guy.
Right.
But the guy had came on and he revealed that like I have a secret crush on you, and it was a guy, and this is the '90s, and it was a guy doing it to another guy, and he was just so uncomfortable, and he
Right.
shot the guy.
Which
Yeah.
is, yeah, I think very bad.
Yeah,
Very,
to
very
say the
bad thing.
least.
Yeah.
Renee, what do you think on that? I think it's very
Not
bad.
good.
That's what I think.
Quite bad. Quite bad. It's
Oh,
James, can you hear that? What time is
it's
it?
Trash Tuesday. We sure can, and we love it. We love to
Tuesday.
know that the trash is getting picked up. We love it. We want it. We get it
We
out
need
of
it.
there.
We just gotta have it. I would love to tell you just again because this is just today I saw, but I was like, oh, I love this. That there is a company. It is in St. Louis, and it was a startup. So it's a startup accelerator for Black and Latino entrepreneurs to expand more help to their business. And so you see startups like this happen all the time, and they don't always continue. So you're like, this is great. This is going to be so good. I can't believe that this happened. And then you go to check on it 6 months later, and it's just like, oh, huh. Well, that's no longer around. But this particular company has expanded to the point. So I'm so sorry about that trash.
No, it's
Sorry
great.
about
Now
that
just
trash.
keep on going. We love it. It's great. Okay.
All right.
Nope. Well,
Well,
we
you're
don't
being very patient. Very
rather
patient.
have the beeps than a
Beep.
silent
And a
pause.
beep, 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 beep. But what is nice about this company started in 2020, and that is the time with which you would think, okay, well, everything is crumbling. But this company has actually expanded in a way that it looks like this is going to be the way of supporting startups like this. So it is called
Oh,
Elevate, and it is great. And could I have saved this for my Give Back Tuesday? But there's nothing to give. It's just a cool thing that is happening. That it is these type of startups historically shutter a little bit, and this one is not.
yeah.
It is growing and it is thriving and it is great. So I'm happy to see that. Today I saw.
You did see that.
Yeah.
You saw that thing. I love it, Renee. And just to not to bring
Yeah.
it to such just we had talked about this on top of the show. Right now we are beginning the confirmation process for Ketanji Brown Jackson, who, if
Mhm.
confirmed, will be the first Black female to sit on the Supreme Court, which I think again, no matter where you are politically, you got to look at the historical nature of this and be like, wow, I'm living through history. This is pretty amazing and phenomenal. I think I'm just gonna put my head in the sand a little bit until it's done and over with.
Yeah.
It is. I don't. She's already gone through the ringer so much because even just being the judge that she already is, she's had to go through, and she's gone through with flying colors. So clearly, the woman is,
Right.
qualified to like do the job. So before bipartisan support, Republicans have said that they're not gonna put her through what they feel um others had maybe gone through, like what Brett
Right.
Kavanaugh went through. But again, we needed to see, did he sexually assault somebody, which I think is very key and important. They were like, oh, we're not going to go into your past dating life. We were not discussing someone's dating life. We were saying, did this person do a crime as a youngin, and a very severe one, and a very, very, very severe one. Sidebar: Brett Kavanaugh was involved in American Crime Story impeachment. I didn't realize that he was on the Ken Starr investigation. Yeah, he was part of the Ken Starr
Interesting.
investigation. Yeah. So,
Interesting.
Republicans have signaled that they're going to do a fair, hearing, but we'll see. Some are saying that she's, so her history as a lawyer, she was a public defender, and it's very rare for a public defender to sit on the Supreme Court. It's usually prosecutors. And if you think about it, if you want a well-balanced court, well, you want people on all sides of things. And so they're trying to come in and say like, oh, she was soft on crime. Her job was to defend people. Everyone's right, even no matter if you're guilty or not. And your lawyer has to do their job to defend you. That's their
Right.
job, to like
Right.
the best of their ability. And so you can't like, that was her job, was to defend people. And again, a lot of innocent until proven guilty. For whatever reason, our criminal justice is like, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but it's really like the flip side of it. Like, again, we're supposed to
Exactly.
go in like, okay, let's check it out. What's the evidence? We proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so many people don't even end up. The public defenders are so overworked as well, and they like are giving cases so fast. They barely have time to really digging deep, and a lot of people don't even end up going to trial. They just they just do a deal where they're like, even if they're innocent, they're like, well, but I could go to court and end up getting a larger sentence, so I'll just take a plea deal, even if they are
Right.
innocent. So,
Right.
anyways, they're trying to say that she's, light on crime because she was a public defender. So my heart goes out to her, and I can't wait till this is all over and we have her sitting on the bench. It will change nothing. It'll still be a 6-3 conservative court. Let's just
Right.
get this on and move on. But take that
And
class
just
photo. I want to see the
take
photo.
that class photo. Let's get that class photo. But I am, yeah. Yeah. I hate that she has to go through it, but you're right. It'll be over soon. And maybe for the best to just not watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately good. But not looking forward to hearing any details of today. That is not going to be fun for any of us.
Yeah, and I
Yes,
think it
ma'am.
actually might be like a few days. These things they
Yeah.
like to really draw these out there.
Yeah. The
Yes,
NPR
yes.
up first said that. So yesterday was the hey, this is what's happening. Today is going to be the 12-hour interrogation,
Oh my God.
and then tomorrow should be a little bit lighter. So I think
Okay.
today's the brunt of the storm.
12 hours. Oh no.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't want it. I
No,
don't
thank
want
you.
it.
No, thank you.
Did you watch True Detective? Did you watch it? Everyone was buzzing about it. Yeah, I did.
No.
Do we have any True Defective? Not True
That'd be a fun
Defectives?
spinoff. That's a fun
Whoa, look at
spinoff. I
that.
like that. That's a fun
See, I'm getting
spinoff.
into my spy work. Who's defective?
Yep.
Who is defecting? I thought this was really interesting. So I tried to get through the first season. It was a little, again, anything before 2017 is probably gonna be a little misogynistic, a little racist, and a little homophobic. And I
Sure.
felt like the women just were not really written well in it. It was like, well, why is her top off? And then why is she getting murdered? It
All
didn't
sounds right.
feel. But people were like, oh, it's just the time period because it's set in like I don't know, it's set in like the 90s or the 70s. I don't know.
Right.
I don't need to see it.
Right.
But Barry Jenkins, and so every season it's sort of like it's an anthology series, so they go off in like a different direction. And so I guess Barry Jenkins is working on and Isa Lopez are teaming up for True Detective season 4 called Night Country. It'll reportedly take place in Barry Jenkins. If you don't know, Barry Jenkins did Moonlight, not La La Land, Moonlight, because Moonlight won the Oscar, not La La Land. He also did. He has a great series on Amazon. Oh, Stacey, you've got Amazon. The Underground Railroad, beautiful series.
Okay.
Highly recommend. Just a phenomenal director, writer. So he's going to be taking on season 4, and it's
Great.
going to be set in the Arctic, where nights can
Okay.
last for more than 24 hours.
That's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good
Yeah.
time with that.
Yep,
Okay, well,
yep.
I'll get caught up. I've heard great things. I've heard it's very good, but we'll get ourselves all caught up at some point. Maybe this weekend, but I've also been given the assignment of impeachment.
Yeah, you got to get on
I have a lot
that.
of work
You got to
ahead of
get on
me.
the impeachment. You
Yeah.
got to get on the impeachment. Highly recommend it. It is.
I know.
And then the companion podcast, Slow Burn, because
Yes.
they're gonna unpack even things that you didn't even know before. So highly recommend. Get on in
You
there.
gotta listen to it all of it. Well, now we can do today. I saw is all the live long day. If you want to do a few more, and then we can go
Give
into
me
ranking our
like
Muppets.
you've got. Give it. Let's end on a good one.
Well,
A good
no,
note.
producer
Give me,
Sarah gave us so many good ones.
tomorrow's gonna be it. We got news for tomorrow too. You can
Oh,
save
that's
it for
true. So
tomorrow.
we can do a little scoot of what I mean. This is something that we've been saying, but it's nice to have Trevor Noah sort of echo our sentiments on this. So Trevor Noah, always with their thumb on the pulse of the right take. I feel like he's always got it right. So, something that I really like is that he is like 360 considerate of things. So not 1 week ago was he coming after Kim Kardashian for being like, you say that the only way you got where you are is because of hard work. And I would just like to explain privilege to you real quick. So it was just
Yeah.
like, no. But then at the same time, it was just like, and this is not fair what Kanye is doing. This is
Yes.
messed up and this is dangerous. So I like that he can hold both things
Yes.
for people.
And I want to
Yes.
highlight, because you mentioned, because you brought this to my attention about what he had said about Kim Kardashian, and he was
Right.
like, yeah, you work hard, but you started off at the home plate. My
Right.
parents, my mom and grandmother worked just as hard as you. But then I
Yeah.
watched another clip that I think you were kind of alluding to, but he also talked about, like, people are like, oh, why are we talking about the Kim Kardashian and Kanye West thing? Well, one, like, they're two of the most high profile people that, like, they sneeze, we hear about it. Just
Sure.
got a tweet and she sneezed. Um,
Right.
and but he talked about the dangers of it, that this is, and I think, did we talk about this here too, where
Yeah.
this has parallels to when there's a guy who you just don't want, who's harassing you, and what this could lead to, that this could lead to something much more violent and abusive. So it's very fascinating that Trevor Noah has been really
I called it
following.
on Valentine's Day.
You did. Or it's like, oh, Renee, you're just, no, but you're
Come
so right.
on.
And again,
Just a
men,
truck of roses. Yeah.
just stop. We
Just
need to teach men how to be like humans. Not even just
true.
men, but just to be a human being. Stop
True.
it. Stop
True,
it.
true, true. But Trevor's back on it, and that like this is dangerous. Da, 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 da. But so I think in that 360 thing, so he is calling out Kim Kardashian for your privilege, but also we need to protect her. He is calling out Kanye that this is dangerous, but also we need to protect him. That
Mhm.
canceling him is not the answer. Counseling him is
Mm.
the answer. And do we love it because of the alliteration? Of course we do.
Ooh.
But I also he is
Hold
mentally
on.
ill, and we need to stop talking about him
Yes.
and get him help. She said as she
Mm.
brought up the whole story.
Well, you
Yeah,
had to bring it up to get there, but are you
sure.
saying that we're rebranding cancel culture as council culture?
I would love
Uh,
nothing more. I would love nothing more.
I am
Yeah,
so here for that
yeah,
counsel culture, because, like, clearly this person needs some counseling. Now,
right.
when you're also in counseling, you're not going to do all the things that you're doing before. So you're not going to make music. You're not going
No,
to do
no,
a
no,
TV
no, no,
show
no, no,
or a
no, no. That's
movie
gonna
or
be
hold
yeah,
your political job. So yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I am so for counsel culture. I am
I
here
love
for it.
it.
Get that man some
I
counseling.
love
And then when you
it
come out of
so
it, because
much.
okay, I love it. I love it. Get that rehabilitation. I love it. I'm a fan. Sign me up. Well,
Love it.
I'm already in counseling. Counseling for everybody.
Amazing. All right. Well, good. Trevor Noah, we love you. We love you. We love you
So
so much.
it's because he's not gonna be performing. Is he performing at the Grammys? Kanye is
Yeah.
not allowed to perform at the Grammys.
Right. Yes. So I think
Or just
that's
wasn't
and
asked.
you're right that the whole reason that this came up, it was like you canceled them at the Grammys and great, sure, great, but that's not the action that we need to see. The action we need to see is
Mm.
say you're not canceled. We're gonna take you on into this rehab.
So, catch me up too on this. So, Trevor Noah is going to be hosting the Grammys this year. Is that what's happening? Because this article said this Kanye was had directed racial slurs towards Grammy host Trevor Noah, which I didn't realize Trevor Noah was hosting the Grammys.
Interesting.
Way to
Yeah.
get me to tune in.
Right.
And so this is very powerful. That if after all this, Noah is just like, "Hey, I said counsel Kanye, not cancel Kanye."
Right. Yeah.
Always just taking the high road. And man, he heard what Michelle Obama was saying. He's like, I'll keep going
Yeah.
high. Not gonna get low.
Yeah. Thank you. And so he knew. But yes, you're right. Trevor Noah is the Grammys host.
Right. And he didn't
Um,
ask the Grammys to ban Kanye from
no.
performing. He was like, oh, let's just get this guy some counseling. So
Right.
yeah, that's fair.
Makes
Oh
sense.
man. I just
Makes
feel
sense.
I think it's one of those things that, to your point, get this guy counseling now before something terrible happens. And I think that's what
Right.
Trevor Noah is trying to say. Like, get this guy some counseling before something terrible happens. We'll see this whole entire thing happening, and we'll be like, oh
Right.
man, wish we had done and said something beforehand.
Right. Yes.
Renee,
100.
what are you
Yes.
doing?
I'm so sorry. Work is blowing up in a way that I might even need to pop out of the show real quick. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I do agree with everything that you're saying. That and those eyes, I know I would also be so frustrated. I'd be like, you need to be here with me right
I'm
now.
on
And you're right.
vacation and I'm
And
here.
you owe my attention. You owe my attention, and I deserve that passive aggressive slam, and I get it, and I understand it, and I think it would be okay for you to be like, "Hey, it hurts me that you're not paying attention," and you're right, and I'm sorry, and you have my full attention. I do need to leave immediately at 8:50. Great, perfect, we got it.
Okay. If you don't want to hold you here, I've got a phone call, but I'm not going to pick it up right now. I'm just going to silence
Okay.
that there.
Wait, instead of saying
Uh,
that though, instead of being like that, tell me exactly how you feel right now. Say, like, I'm angry with you that you're not paying attention. Is that
no, I
just
don't.
let me know your feelings
No,
of how you
I
feel.
don't know how I'm feeling right now. I want to just
Okay.
continue doing the show.
Okay.
But let's switch gears and go over to top Muppets. Do we have time for a rank it
Muppets.
Muppets?
Quick
Do we have
a
time
quick
for rank
rank
it
it.
for
A quick
Muppets? Here it is.
rank it. I
All
love
right,
it.
get on uppers. As you know, it is National Puppet Day yesterday, and we want to know what are your top Muppets? Do you have a top Muppet? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite Muppet? Who are your favorite Muppets? And there's this great article from NPR that has 25 of the best Muppets. I think we can actually I don't think we actually need thank you, Sarah, for pulling this up, but I think we're just gonna talk about our favorite Muppets. But
Just our
thank you.
favorite Muppets.
Just our favorite Muppet. So we already got Stacy chiming in, Kermit the Frog, but the way we like to do rank it is who's your Beyonce Muppet, who's your Kelly Rowland Muppet, and who is your Michelle Muppet. She's there. She's there.
She's just
You know,
there. She's just there.
she's
She's
there.
there.
She's
She's
collecting a
there, right?
paycheck.
Yeah.
She's the eyes maybe falling off a little bit. But yes, we're doing Jim Henson Muppet. Stacey is Kermit the Frog is her Beyonce, which
Love
is
it.
pretty good.
Yeah, and that's I mean, Stacey, you nailed it. That's, I think, gonna be a lot of people's lists of which ones they are. Jim, do you have yours? Do you have your what you or do you wanna go back and forth? This is my Beyonce, this is my Beyonce, this is my Kelly, this is my Kelly, this is my Michelle. Which one
Yeah,
which
yeah.
which one
Let's
would you
go
like?
for it. Let's go for
Okay.
it. Let's do it. Yeah.
So, gosh, who's taking the cake?
I know it's kind of tough.
Listen,
I didn't realize how
I
tough this
know.
would be. You
And I
know?
know that this is tricky, but I just love how hard similar to me, how hard he tries and how often he misses. Is you've got my soul, sweet sweet Gonzo. I love you so much. Gonzo is my number one. Gonzo is my Beyonce because he tries so hard and he almost always misses, but he tries so hard, and so I love that. I love a try hard, and
Oh
so Gonzo,
man.
you're my Beyonce.
Well, I think we're gonna actually you'll do your Beyonce, and I'm gonna do I have
Okay.
to come in and give you my
Oh,
Michelle right now. Because
okay.
my
Let's hear it.
Michelle is Gonzo for those
Gonzo for
very
you, but he made the
exact same
podium,
reasons. You made the podium, but like,
which we'll
at
take.
what cost?
Sure.
I with the Camilla the chicken thing, he's there. He's just such a he's there. He's
Right.
there. So
Fair.
I'll give him he's on the podium. He is there struggling along.
But he made the podium, which is, I
He
think, really
did.
good.
But
I think
it's just
really
so
yes.
funny. I think for my everything you said, I agree with, which is why I would
Yes.
give him the Michelle slot. And for Renee coming at this from a different angle is like, that's why he gets the top slot.
Sure.
Beyonce. Same thing that happened with isn't that the same thing that happened with your Mandy Moore? She ended up in
Yes.
the Beyonce because she was
I
sweet and nice.
I love a try hard. I love a try hard. I love a sweet. I love a sincere effort. I love a lack of ruthlessness to get to the top. So you
Mm.
don't get to the top anywhere else, but you get to the top on my list. We love it. We like just
All
try
right.
hard.
Who's your
Uh,
Kelly? Who's your Kelly?
my Kelly is Skeeter.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sister of Scooter. She's the
Yeah.
brains behind it all. The brains behind it all. And if you watch
Okay.
the movies, you will notice, like, she's the one running the stage directions. She's the one
She
getting it organized.
is.
She's the one keeping it calm. The amount of emotional labor that is put on Skeeter. She's nailing it every time. She's staying calm, cool, collected, keeping everybody together. Kelly is your reward for that. You'll be getting silver on the podium. A Skeeter. So Gonzo,
Wow.
Skeeter, and then we'll see who comes in at number 3. We'll see.
Wow.
We'll
Well,
see.
mine is gonna be I gotta give my Kermit the Frog is gonna be my Kelly
Yes.
Rowland. He's
Okay.
classic, he's there, but he's also not too like pushy about it. Like he's just happy to go along with it.
Fair.
And I feel like I have to put him as my Kelly because I'm afraid of what would happen if I put this other person not on the podium and not as this front runner.
Right. Right. I see. Okay.
Mhm,
I'm curious.
mhm.
Now, I would like to make a prediction. I feel like we have just flippity flopped, where my Beyonce is your Michelle,
Oh,
And
interesting.
my Michelle is your Beyonce, I think. Let's see if it happens. My Michelle
Okay.
is Miss Piggy. One Miss.
Wow.
Uh, we love her. We love her so much. There is a misogynistic world with which she lives. And so she has to stomp and her way through life. And I love that. But I would just love to see her Michelle Obama it a little bit more, a little bit taking the high road, a little bit, more Brene Brown for you, Miss Piggy, and just like sit with
Uh-huh.
your emotions, figure out what it actually is. I wonder if your control over Kermie is because you were maybe a little insecure within yourself. So let's raise you. You're extraordinary, Piggy.
Mm.
You don't need that Kermie. You don't need him. You don't need him. So you made the podium, but I would like you to do some inner soul searching on your emotions.
Dang. Renee pretty much like put her in a timeout. She was like, you do better. You could get there. You see Gonzo? You
Yeah,
could get
you
there,
could get
but you
there.
gotta
You could get
wait.
there.
You
You
gotta
just gotta
wait.
be okay
I'm
with
really
yourself.
surprised that Waka Waka Fozzie Bear didn't show up. You love comedy.
I
Like
do
I
love
feel like
comedy.
you would have went to the school of Fozzie Bear for
Yeah.
school of comedy
I think I
if you
dated too
could
many
have.
comedians. Yeah, I can't. But he gives up so quick. He's lazy. He
Uh,
doesn't work on his jokes. He's been telling the same ones forever, hoping that we still laugh. Fozzie, I love you, but try harder.
That is true. He is very lazy and not great at his job doing comedy. Stacy chimed in that Animal is Stacy's Kelly, Kermit is your Beyonce. So Stacy, who you've got at the podium 3 at your
Yep.
third place one.
Who's Michelle?
And mine's Miss Piggy because of again the things that
We did a
the
flip
first thing
flop.
you said.
Yeah.
Is she works in this misogynistic world, and so she has to work twice as hard to get half as much. But she is the diva. She is the queen. She knows what she's worth,
Yes.
and she's just boss. She just to
Yeah.
me, she's the boss. She is the boss.
Love it. I love it.
Do you
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have like a Sesame Street didn't make any of the podium where we have to do a
Oh, that's
separate Destiny's
true.
Child one
Yeah.
for I feel
Yeah.
like I
Let's do
feel
that.
okay, I'm just gonna do this top of my head really
Wait,
quick.
but I also think it's a good rank it for next time. I do want to hear it, but then I think we could also make it an official rank it of Sesame Street characters next week if you wanted to. But also, I appreciate we're done with puppets after next week.
Yeah, I
We're
never
good.
want to talk about puppets ever again. On top of my head, I'm just gonna go.
Yes,
Elmo's Beyonce because he just has all that fame. Everybody loves
fair.
Elmo. Like Tickle Me, popular. Blah, 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 blah. Big Bird is gonna be Kelly, just kind of like big, but just kind of there, And we'll make Oscar Michelle because he's trash.
Oh. But he's sweet, but he's cute.
Sweet. Yeah.
We love it. We love it. I will go Grover is my Beyonce, Snuffleupagus is my Kelly, and
I might
the
actually can I switch
Count
mine?
is my
I was gonna say the quant. I
Michelle.
was gonna say the count as well. I just switched
Okay.
it before I was
Okay.
gonna same Z. I'm gonna make the count because it's like, what are you doing, girl? One,
Yeah. Yeah.
two, we got
Yes.
it. We got it.
Yeah. But we're always tuning in, but we're always watching, so you got something going for you. But
There it
again, Kelly
is.
Kelly is Michelle is a try harder. So that
She
Count
is.
gets
Yeah.
try harder. Yeah.
Get to the point faster. And I don't think he's ever counted above 4 in his life.
True.
And I'm not sure what his gimmick really is. It's
Fair.
confusing.
I appreciate
All
it.
right. Well, we've reached the last one, Renee. I know we're going to lose you in 2 minutes. So chime on in first. What is your Giving Tuesday? So it is Giving Tuesday. Do you have an organization that you would like to throw to us to give to?
Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Yes. Do we want to? I mean, I feel like all things Ukraine need to be making the list right now. Uh,
Is there like a specific one that you would like direct people to so I have one. So you have UNHCR is one, and also UN, so the UN Refugee Agency That's a really great one to give to. One, because so yes, the situation with Ukraine, but there are also situations all around the globe, and so they're a really good organization because they also help other folks around the globe as well, including the situation in Ukraine. So that is USA for UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency. So if you Google that, you will find them. And then also UNICEF. UNICEF is another one that is right now helping children in the Ukraine, but they also are constantly helping out towards refugee situations globally. So you can make it a $30 monthly donation, or just anytime you can, just head on over to UNICEF as well.
I love it. I love it so much. I will pivot then and go to puppets.org is an organization to help teach children things. I will never talk about puppets again. I understand. I am getting it. I wish you would use your words to tell me how you're actually feeling, but I'm getting it based off your face. But I do think puppets are helpful. And I think we all love Sesame Street for a reason. And I think a lot of times kids need some help in understanding what's happening. So puppets.org is also a great place to go and give and support.
I'm just giving you my puppet reaction of like, what? You talk about a left turn. Renee, there are no
Yes.
notes here. I think it's hilarious that I'm like refugees and you're like puppets, but it's true. We need to balance it out. Kids still gotta laugh. They do. They gotta still laugh.
They don't
Renee,
have
if you
to,
gotta
they
head on
teach
out,
people. Yeah. I'll
I
see
can
you
close out the
later.
show. We'll see you tomorrow, Renee. Take care. Bye, Renee.
Bye, guys.
All right, Get On Uppers, you still got me. Are there any other organizations or things that you are calling out that need our attention? Stacy, do you have any? Marty, London, Remus, Stacy, Pepper, Rough Parrot, Michelle, Sincere Mosquito, Julia. What do we say? Is there anything there? But before we go, we'll take a look and see what it is that we are going to be going over to tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Wednesday. Also, I curious if Sarah, our producer, just shot out PFLAG. PFLAG, they are an organization that helps parents of LGBTQIA plus youth who definitely need that support and help out there as well. Curious if y'all have seen Bad Vegan. Anybody watching Bad Vegan out there on Netflix? Stacey, I know you got Netflix. Is Bad Vegan graced your screen yet? I started watching it for just a moment. I started to. I'm starting to get into this space though. Am I watching just too many? There's a lot. You all know I love a cult and a con. You know I love a cult and a con. But it just was like, I don't know. There's just so many that I feel like I'm just constantly watching. I just watched The Tinder Swindler. It's this documentary is from the same people that did Firefest. So if you remember that documentary that came out, and I guess it's a 4-part Netflix docu series, which Smith, the director, explores how New York City celebrity restaurateur Sarma Melagilinis, I'm butchering that, but who cares? She's a criminal, I think, went from being the queen of vegan cuisine to a fugitive on the run. It's interesting because the restaurant that they owned was called Manhattan's Pure Food and Wine, and it's very close to where I used to live in Harlem. So it's very interesting. I was walking by and I had no idea that there was apparently the restaurant and funds were just funneling money to Shane Fox, who was a con man. And she was convicted of crimes being involved in this. But I think the documentary is trying to clear her name. Maybe she got a bad rap. Anyways, curious if y'all have seen it. Julia says, no, I haven't. Is it really good? Yeah, I don't know, Julia. I'm curious. I haven't seen it. I did start watching the first 30 minutes. It does seem very gripping. So maybe I'll check that out this week. And look at this. We've got, and Sarah, producer, who is a huge fan of Tinder Swindler, says the reviews are in. Sarah said, Julia, if you're looking for a review, Sarah said it's okay. So I don't know if that's enough to get you on board. It's a 4-part documentary series. I do think, even I was watching it, I saw like the first 30 minutes. It felt like it maybe didn't need to be 30 minutes. 4 parts. It could have been maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but 4 parts. I mean, after a while, does everything have to be a 4-part documentary series? Sarah said it could have been an hour. I think so. Especially because, like, in the very beginning, I feel like they tell you everything that's gonna happen, and I feel like I got the gist of it. So I'm like, do I really need that many more parts for it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Well, y'all, it is about 8:54 or 8:54 Pacific time. It's 9:54 Mountain time, 10:54 Central time, and 11:54 Eastern time. I think I hit all of the North American time zones. And you know what that means? It's time to wrap on up. We are going to be back here tomorrow. What a great show for you tomorrow. 3:23:22. We'll be back here tomorrow. So we'll kick things off. It's Wednesday. We want to know what your morning jam is for the day. We're also going to dive into our celebrity birthday quiz. We also have our women's history moment as well. And Renee's going to bring us a deep dive into puppies because it's National Puppy Day. So we'll bring us a deep dive into puppies. And we'll be looking at the news that gives us hope. We'll play Wildin' or Working It, and we're going to end it with some Wednesday wisdom and some recommendations for what are you watching. So we want y'all to chime on in. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Mountain time, 9 a.m. Central time, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Central. I was doing so well. And then I was in my head, I was like, I'm doing so well. 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll be back here tomorrow. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to leave us a review by going to www.backchannel.tv and hit the leave a review button and send us your thoughts. We want to know how are things going. So thank you all so much for watching Get On Up. I'm James Arthur M. We'll see you tomorrow. And you, Jess, got on up. See you tomorrow, everybody.